Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jean. If this is the first time you've ever stopped by, I appreciate you. And I would appreciate if you like and shared or commented on these videos. Stay tuned at the end and I'll give you some information on my advice room and my Twitter and Instagram. Today is what path am I and which one should I choose? And this question is brought to you by Brandy. Thank you for your question. I figured it'd be easier to explain this in a video because it's quite an in-depth answer. And she was watching my videos, the three metaphysical paths. There's the dark, center, and light path, or left, middle, and right hand. And she wasn't sure what path she would be on or which one would be right for you or herself. But I strongly encourage you, no matter what you do in life, whether it be your spiritual path, your education such as college, relationships, do some studying. Form your own opinion so that when you make your choice, you're secure and confident with knowledge in your choice and you'll know it's the right one for you. Don't ever let your decision about your life choices or your paths be influenced by other people's opinion or their feelings on what they think is right for you, because you're the one that has to live it. So anytime you're curious or wondering about what's right for you in any aspect, do research, ask questions, study on it. Internet is a great tool that we have now. So I fully encourage you just to research for yourself before you make your decision. Now, as far as the three metaphysical paths go, I'm going to discuss the extremes first. On the left or dark-sided path, there are people like Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin, Genghis Khan, some may think Napoleon Bonaparte, and this one, I'm not getting into discussion about this one. He's just an example, Aleister Crowley. Aleister Crowley, in his later days before his death, would chain up people in his house and his torture room for his own sexual and devious gratification, and he'd use their sexual energy, their blood, and their life force to conjure dark entities to do his bidding. So those people are an extreme of the left hand or the dark path, okay? And then you move away from there, and it's not, and you have to understand with the dark path, yes, it may be bad or negative and not necessarily evil, but with everything in life, just like on the extreme of the light hand path, that is Gandhi, the real Jesus Christ when he was alive, Mother Teresa, Buddha, the Dalai Lama. They're extreme examples of the right-handed or the light path. They're healers, and they're there to heal and push forward in humanity. And in the middle section, you could look at mercenaries that are hired to kill people on the dark-handed path. Your CIA, FBI, soldiers in combat. They do things that are not necessarily good or bad, but it may be a negative or a violent means to an end, okay? Not necessarily something all healing and fuzzy and unicorns and fluffy bunnies and small baby kittens, but it's to promote a positive outcome, and it's a necessary thing that you have to do they have to do dark things for the light things to prevail. When you spank your children, you can be considered that as a negative thing, but like if you have to spank them, but you have to spank them for them to understand or learn a lesson or to guide them in a different path that is best and healthier for them and choices. Now you may agree or disagree on that one, but it's an example. So on the dark hand path, you move from like Adolf Hitler up the chain to like some people can use negative energy. There's psychic vampires that can be considered in the darker path, but use that energy to not only power themselves but to do good or just to survive, and they're not trying to hurt people. There's dark witchcraft that can or cannot be negative. It depends on how it's used. And on the other end, on the right hand in the light path, there's healers, medicine people, shamans, nurses, doctors. In the gray section in the same area, surgeons can be considered gray because you have to cause surgeons, physical therapists, psychological therapists can be gray because it's a painful experience that they have to do to you or to go through. You have to go through with them, but to heal. See what I'm saying? Your surgeon has to cut someone open and perform surgery to fix something, so that can be a gray or a middle area. Now, if you're like the dentist on Little Shop of Horrors is doing it for your own self-gratification and you like pain, that could be on a darker path. And if you're a Reiki healer and you're specifically doing the most painless, natural healing that you can, that would be on the white area. But again, not all of it is necessarily good or bad in itself. It's the action and the performance and the intention set for it that makes it one way or the other. Now, there's some people like myself, again, on the lighter spectrum, on the very far end, I can't do gray or negative or dark or left-handed things because I have severe consequences, and it really hurts me. It comes back to hurt me. Not saying that all light workers and light people and right-handed people don't have dark intentions or dark thoughts or dark deeds, and the same with left-handed or dark path people. They don't always have dark intentions and dark things and do dark deeds. They can do right-handed or light work or gray work, and we all can fall into the gray area. So you just have to research and find what's right for you. And like I was saying earlier, it's like a yin and yang in life. You have to have the dark path to learn and to move and to gain knowledge. If there was no negative experiences in life, we would not learn. We would never change. They're a catalyst for change. I would consider our government in the dark path, okay? Military could be gray, and then the healers and doctors of the world are in the light path. And again, they cross, and there has to be one or the other. If there was no sickness, there would be no light worker healers. If there was no war or strife, there would be none of the other. You see what I'm saying? So it balances out. Some children have to break a leg before they know not to jump on the trampoline with balls. Some people have to go through. So, you know, for instance, there are different levels to each path. Dark path, again, the list I gave you. And then there's like socio and psychopaths above that. And then there's like psychic vampires above that. You know, like, again, they're not necessarily negative, and the dark path can use dark energy to do gray or light things. They can transmute negative situations and energies to heal themselves or to direct that energy to someone else. For instance, there's a dark and gray path worker that I know who is not necessarily a dark entity himself, but he can use negative and dark influences and powers to redirect or turn it on to that person. So they can be like the judicial system. They could be used like that. There would be no cops if there were no criminals. No criminals. There would be no jails or mental facilities. You see what I'm saying? It all kind of goes within itself. So, but if you're on the wrong path, you'll know. Because if you're a dark worker and you're doing light things, it would seem that you suffer and you're having a hard time and you struggle with yourself. If you're a gray worker, you can do either with no problem. If you're a light worker, you can't do dark things without suffering or causing yourself pain or strife. There are some people that think they're on the dark end spectrum and they try to do dark work, and it will cause psychological and emotional issues because they're not really meant for that path. That's not what they're programmed for. That's not what their intention in life is. And it brings them strife and suffering, but they also don't feel like they're fluffy bunnies and kittens and unicorns. So that side of things makes them uncomfortable. But it's a part of their education. It's fear, experience. You can be a gray person, you know, and you'll be an integral part of the life cycle of the planet. So educate yourself. Look up dark magic practitioners and I don't want to bring up Satanism because Satanism is a gray area, and they actually have better moral concepts than a lot of other religions. I'm not going to say anything, but you know, people misunderstand Satanism and satanic rites, and there's extremes in every spiritual or religious aspect, but they can be on a more dark or gray because they're more about, that I understand. I may be wrong, but again, it's an example. They may be more ways about how to live materialistically or selfishly in this world for their personal gain, whereas a light worker is more, and they're on a dark spectrum because it is more, it's not humanitarian, and the light workers are humanitarian. They're there for, we're here to heal others, to bring up the vibration of the planet, to push and be a catalyst for advancement in living creatures. Other religions, that it would be more on the dark path, or more self-fulfillment, more self-gratification. So that's when it's more narcissistic or more self-gratification or more you and yours and nothing else, that would be a dark path, but not necessarily evil or negative or bad. Gray workers are both what's best for me and mine, and then what I can do to help others at the same time, you know. So I don't know if that confused you or it helped you in any way, but do a lot of research. And any spiritual or metaphysical walk, you do need to be exposed to the entire spectrum. You need to educate and learn about dark practitioners, the dark path, and the light practitioners on the light path, the healers, and the like dark is more devastation, destruction, injury, taking. White is more healing, replenishing, giving, and the gray is both. Like if I was a hired hit person, I would be gray because I've been taking out the bad people or the bad influences of the earth, but I'm doing it for a positive outcome, meaning that I'm ridding the world of the people that shouldn't be here or that are hurting others. But, you know, it's an example. So I'm doing a negative or a violent deed for positive outcomes, so that's a gray, and it's not selfish. It is and it isn't, because you get paid and you have benefits of doing that particular job, but you're also doing it for the world and humanity or whatever at large. So that's a gray path. If you have any more questions, you can comment here. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at JeansPetrock, Jeans Pet Rock with a J. You can also go to my Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups with an S/Ask Jean, AskJean. And that's a room for anyone to ask any question. It's just a help and advice room. It's a sharing room. It's a knowledge room. All paths are welcome. All sexual orientations are welcome. I don't discriminate against anyone. Everyone's welcome. But we do have to keep it in a respectful tone. I don't tolerate advertising or negativity in a depreciating kind of way. Constructive criticism is always welcome. And I hope this helped you. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you around again. I love you. I care about you. And I'm always thinking of you. Bye.